So last time I talked about SB Elwin, I said that he is a very good unit with some really obvious weaknesses, and I think this match is a pretty good showcase of some of the weaknesses he might have. So my opponent here decides to first pick SB Elwin despite running a 2-tank box. So it's possible he's one of those players who uses the 2-tank box just as a bait. Some people do that, they just put 2 tanks up there for you to ban, and they just pick all their best DPS and try to overwhelm you. For my part, I'm mostly an annoying stall player. If you give me Landius, I'm probably going to pick Landius. Now in this case, my Landius is still a Cavalry Landius, so he's actually not the best at fighting against Elwin. Cav Landius does get one-shot by SB Elwin. I've tested it a couple times. This is assuming you don't use Lancer Soldiers, obviously, but even that has a counter. I'll talk about that in a second. So his second pick here is Yulia. The interesting thing, you'll immediately notice that this is a sword Yulia, so that's actually a really nice combo with Elwin when you think about it, because Elwin can kill just about anything that doesn't have a Lancer Soldier around, and if you pick a sword Yulia second into that, not only do you already have a faction buff ready for Yulia, obviously since she's an infantry she can take care of whatever problems that your Elwin might run into. Some other advantages to running infantry Yulia is that she is more bulky than Holy Yulia, so it sort of covers up one of Yulia's bigger weaknesses, which is AoE boxes. Sword Yulia can wear nice armor like Aeolus, and she gets to have Tyr's helm as well. The big downside, of course, is that you don't get to have Tenyo's headdress. So back to this pick ban, you can see that I'm busy banning a lot of his DPS. He already has 2 tank busters, so I need to be careful not to give him too many other DPS. So he's going full in on these 2 tank busters with 3 healers. So obviously during pick ban I could not see what class his Yulia was. I mean, I assumed that he was probably going to bring infantry soldiers at the very least. So what you see here is that even though I do bring Lancer soldiers on both Layden and Landius, I stuck to Zealots on Chris to do neutral damage no matter what he brought. But anyway, as usual, you're probably going to see me playing Keep Away at the beginning of this match here. Okay, so he gets a breeze on Yulia here, and he has Liana ready to act again, so he's threatening me here. So I have no choice to also use act again to get ready. So my only hope here is to attack with Chris and hope I can bring Yulia low enough so that he gets scared into not attacking me, because obviously if Yulia's HP is too low, she can just get countered to death. Thankfully, Chris doesn't disappoint me for once, takes away one of Yulia's lives, and more importantly, it makes my opponent decide that it's not worth attacking into me at this point, so he just runs back with Yulia. And luckily for me, I also got the Chris Breeze on Layden earlier, so now I can pull in his Liana and put up Layden's guard as well. So at this point he of course decides to charge in with Elwin. He does a bit of a strange attack here, so because he runs onto the water to attack Chris, who then gets guarded by Landius. I mean, it was doubtful that Elwin would have been able to kill either one of my tanks, but walking on the water certainly didn't help here. I think he was trying to force my Layden into guarding Chris instead of Landius, but I actually lined up my 2 tanks at the beginning of the fight so that Landius would have a higher guard priority than Layden. So I actually mentioned earlier that it is possible for Elwin to just kill Cav Landius anyway, and I'm going to reveal the secret to you guys, and that's don't walk 4 spaces. So with SB Elwin, people are used to just running 4 blocks with him because he attacks first when he does that, and of course attacking first is very, very powerful. It increases the amount of damage you do because you take no damage on your soldiers while attacking. But if you're facing a Cav Landius with Lancer soldiers, what you need to remember is that if you're attacking first, that means Elwin is just ramming everything into the Lancer soldiers, and if you're using unicorns, that obviously isn't going to get you anywhere. But if you only run 3 blocks, then Landius will charge in front of his Lancer soldiers and Sword Soul will just slam right into Landius' face and he will die. I have tested this against multiple Elwins, so there you go, that's the secret. If you ever fight a Cav Landius with Lancer soldiers and you're using Elwin, don't run floor blocks, just attack them with Sword Soul after running 3 blocks and they will regret their choices in life. By the way, this only works with Sword Soul, Frontal Assault sucks. So anyway, a second ago you saw here the power of Yulia. Just YOLO one-shot at Layden with Holy Justice. Now Layden had his hammer revive up from killing Elwin a second ago, but of course Holy Justice was able to dispel it, and this right here is one of the reasons why I think Layden's hammer revive is actually pretty bad. I mean, if the stars align, it can be really, really busted, but at the same time, Layden's revive just has so many limitations. He needs to kill someone to activate it, he can't be buff blocked when it comes up, it only lasts 1 turn, it can be dispelled. I mean, the revive effect itself is really OP because it restores Layden to the life he was at before he died. but there's just a lot of ways to get around it, so it's really not that good of a revive. But anyway, right here you get a Mega Rip on Yulia. He gets a Thorns from Landius. Although I do think at this point I had a pretty good chance of winning, even if that didn't happen. Anyway, just a quick game to show that Lancer soldiers really do give SP Elwin a bad time.